So if I'm going to click the line and I took the endpoint and then I'm looking for center, so if I want to just make it very quickly and faster, so I will press shift and right click, and then I will go for the snap point, whatever the snap point I need, like let's go for center, and you'll just click it and you get it back. After I delete again, I'm going for line again, and then again here, and then again the problem is I cannot see the center again. So if you want to do it permanently, then what you have to do, you have to type OS enter. So you will get a table direct box that will show you again all the snap points what you're seeing in shift and right click. So here what you will do is if you click the center here, that will be permanently. You don't need to press shift and right click again. So what I will do is I will just click OK, and I'll go for line, and then I'll go for endpoint. Now I'm not clicking the shift and right click. I will just move my cursor here. Oh, again OS enter, line, endpoint. What happened now? What's going on? Center. No, maybe the AutoCAD is playing with me also. I don't know. Okay, let me check this here. Circle. Okay. Anyway, I'll just keep it now here because it must show. I will check it. Okay, and then we are going for the next one. I think arc is too much we talk about. Now let's see, like, see, uh, my cursor is here. I'm just trying to draw a line over this one, and from this endpoint. Okay, so I'm just keeping my cursor here. Okay, where is my cursor? Is my cursor exactly on the endpoint? No. And but where is the point? On the endpoint. So this is the point. It doesn't matter where your cursor is. What doesn't matter is the where your point is. So I'm just going to click. So it will click from here. And now I'm going here. You see, my cursor is down. But where is the point? Endpoint. I hope this is clear. My cursor is here and the point is here. So if I'm drawing a line, the line should stop here or here? Over there. Why? Because it's highlighting and the cat will automatically catch it up. So
But for the midpoint, then will it?
If you need the midpoint, you will click on the midpoint. This is your choice. Sorry?
Like as you said for the endpoints, right? Anywhere you are on the line, it will show you the endpoint,
Yes.
and then it's not showing the midpoint. So for midpoint, you have to click on the midpoint only.
Yeah. Okay. Like let's say we have an endpoint and we have an endpoint. Like let's say you need the midpoint.
Yeah.
You need to draw something like that, like this.
Yeah.
Then of course you will click on the midpoint. It depends on the part of a drawing, how you need it. Like endpoint, it will show the midpoint in the middle. On the way, it will show you the midpoint. But it is a drawing. You need to click on the midpoint, or you don't need to click on the midpoint. That has to be depending on the drawing. Okay. So I'll just click here and then end. Okay. Fine. So let's talk about the midpoint. The same here. See, that's what I was telling you, that anytime you have questions, you can just open this one, toolbar, object snap to midpoint, pull down, shift and right click midpoint, or keyboard shortcut is MID. Okay, and the midpoint snaps to the midpoint of lines and arcs and to the midpoint of polyline segments. Okay, let's say line. So you have a midpoint here, arc you have a midpoint here, midpoint, 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 again midpoint, 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 and midpoint. Okay, we are not going to deal anything much here. We are just trying to understand the terms, like where is endpoint, where is midpoint, and where is intersection, and all those things. Okay, and the second thing is that OS enter. Wherever you have a problem, you will just come and click here and it will show you in the drawing. Now let's try to understand the intersection. The same, you will go for object snap from the menu, or from the pull down is shift and right click, or from the keyboard if you want to write you can just write the keyboard int. Shortcut is for intersection. The intersection snap to the physical intersection of any two drawing objects, that is lines, arcs, circle, etc., cross each other, and to the point and vertices. That means whenever we have a two lines crossing each other, like let's say our line here, you see it's showing me the midpoint because it's a midpoint. I'll just try to make it something different. Okay, I have a line now, and you see it's showing me the midpoint. It is showing me the midpoint, but I want to see this point. This point is called as the intersection point, so I'm not able to see this one. So what I will do, shift and right click, I'll click on the intersection, so now I can see the intersection point. Okay, here. Or other solution is you will type OS enter, and here is the intersection, so you click intersection, say OK, and directly it will show you the intersection point. Okay, now let's say where is the intersection here. You see this is the intersection. Let's say I'm going to click midpoint intersection. Where the two lines are crossing to each other, that is the intersection. Like here, this is the intersection, this is the intersection, all this intersection, intersection, this is the intersection. Okay, sometimes intersection and midpoint can clash each other, so you can't judge which is the midpoint, which is the center point. Center, I think center is already cleared. See here, I don't know what was the problem there. Line, you have a center here. Okay, again we are taking a line. You see when you just click on the arc, just keep your cursor on the arc, it will show you the center. The same thing, line. Okay, so now the next question, let me see if anybody can answer. A circle is having how many snap points? Center, yeah, center, and of course don't tell me nearest. Nearest is common for everything. So circle is having a center, nearest, and first of all a circle will be having, that is called as the nearest. Okay, a circle, first of all let me clear, like a circle is having another snap point or no? Center, apart from the center, does it have any snap point else? No, midpoint is for the line, because circle. Okay, good, that's a good answer that you have here. So it is having how many midpoints? 4. And what are these called as? No, not midpoints. Midpoint is for the line. The answer is correct, but we have to call the term this one. No, this is called as the quadrant. Okay, fine. So again the same thing, pull down menu, quadrant, QA or QAD. The quadrant, you use this one, 90, 270, 0, 180 degrees. That means a circle is having 4 quadrants. I'm just clicking on the line. Of course I cannot see the quadrants. Then what I will do, we can go for shift right click or OS enter, and quadrant, and say okay, line, yeah, this is my quadrant, this is the quadrant, this is the quadrant, this is the quadrant. Okay, okay, one more tangent is also there. I will just skip it tangent because we are not using much of this. If anybody is interested, you can just follow the instructions and try to read it. Perpendicular is important. Yeah, perpendicular is also there. Okay, perpendicular is very important because, you know, let's consider this is a wall. Okay, and you're trying to do another wall from here to here. So I'm just taking a line here, and you know I want to just go straight and connect to this line. Yes, so if I want to connect to this line, first of all, what other option I have? apart from perpendicular, of course. I want to draw a line here and I want to get the line hit this line. So what is the option I can have apart from the perpendicular?
Just make a line and then crop it.
Just make a line. I made a line. Now
Take a full line.
just made a full line.
Yeah, and then crop it.
Crop,
Yeah, left side.
trim.
Yeah, trim.
So select it and right click and trim.
Yeah.
Good. This was I was expecting. Good answer. Next option.
Take the
You can
midpoint.
use a 90 degrees angle.
No.
Take the midpoint.
Trim is one good command. We discuss it. I'm trying to see the possibilities because sometimes you may forget about the perpendicular. So in place of perpendicular, what are the other options you are going to use?
You can use the remove command.
Hmm? You see the trim here? Trim is having one friendly command. First tell me like trim is one of the commands which is mostly depending on what other command. We are using trim mainly after which command? Offset.
Offset, yeah.
You know, mainly like it's not always, but as soon as you do the offset, you are in need of the trim command. You know, the likewise the trim command is having one friendly command. If you click this arrow, that is called as the extend. We did this, but I think you forget. We didn't use it a lot.
Yeah.
So when you select the extend command, click here and select the extend command. The extend command will ask you first thing is that from where you want to go. So you will select this line. Okay, and then right click, and then the next question will who want to go there. So you will select this line. Okay, so this is the drafting solutions. Now let us go back to our thing, like what we are trying to do by the snap. So I take a line and just click here and I'm going straight. Carol, this was the problem. Everybody is facing this problem, you know, in the beginning, at least if you doesn't know the snaps. Now I'm just trying to draw a straight line. Then you must also observe this one. When I'm trying to draw a straight line, I keep my cursor here. Am I going to get the straight line?
It's gonna be curved. It's not it's not like F8.
If there is not a
No, the line is straight.
if there is no point, it won't be.
The line is straight. I want to draw the line straight here. Okay, let me just, yeah, I want to draw the line straight here, right? So if I click here, the line is already straight, right? So if I click here, I'm going to get the straight line or no?
No,
Why?
because the endpoint midpoints are. You already selected it. It's showing, so it will go there.
Yes, Nasrin. If I'm trying to draw a straight line here, am I going to get the straight line or no? I need some answer, yes or no.
No.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
You're gonna have a straight line.
okay.
But it's
Then up,
yes.
No.
no. Yes, Shabir. Okay, fine.
All are yes.
No, yes,
All are yes.
yes,
Sorry, both are no.
yes. 1, 2, 3.
Majority.
No, 3, 4 yes,
No.
and 2 no.
No.
Okay, fine. I keep my cursor justice. So I'm going to click here and let's see the line is straight or not.
Other side.
Why?
Because
Midpoint.
the
Just
midpoint,
the
like
midpoint.
highlight point is
The midpoint is
Midpoint is
highlighted. So this is a trick. Everybody has to remember this trick because sometimes when you draw, you are getting confused. You are headache. Really, this is a headache. If you don't, once you understand this one, yes, you will be very happy, and you can just understand. Okay, this is the problem. So then, if you are getting this problem, what you will do? The first thing is you will type OS enter, and you will just try to get rid of all the things. Let's say midpoint also, if you don't want. Okay, right now I'm going straight. Am I going to get a straight line?
no.
yes.
No.
That's point.
It
Yes.
goes to the end point.
Remove the end point.
You have
Yes.
to do this like
Okay, good. I will go for snap, and I will go endpoint. Nice. I'm going to take a line. Am I going to get the straight line?
Yes.
Okay. So I click. But the problem is this line going to touch this?
This is the problem.
This is the problem. So how you can make this line touch here?
That's the
extend. This is the one solution. Plus the other solution is you take a line, you click here, select perpendicular. So now you're going straight, you see the point already. It will be connected. Okay. So this is what here, like line, perpendicular, line, perpendicular, line, perpendicular. OS and shift and right click, both are balanced. It depends on the user how they are using it. Both will be balanced to each other, because sometimes, you know, like perpendicular, for example, perpendicular we are not using too much. So for the things which you are not using too much, you will press simply shift and right click and use it. Okay. And you know, here like OS enter, just remember this one and you can just note it down, that endpoint, midpoint, I prefer to do like this. I just keep endpoint and the midpoint on. Remaining I kept off. I just use it when I need it, and then I go back off, because I don't know to keep too many points and then confuse the user and confuse yourself. Okay. Can we just continue? Sorry,
Yeah.
because with the two are only remaining. The next is the insert. Like insert is something like, you remember the block. So insert is from where you catch the block. Okay, I enter here. So if I select here, where is the insert point here for the text?
The
The blue point. Where is the insert point? Blue point. Where is the insert point? You see, the insert point, insert point, insert point. Simple. The nearest, again the simple. And nearest is nearest can be, I can say, a lovely command when you're using a lot of times random drawings and you need to have something nearest. You don't know exactly where you want to draw. You don't know it is endpoint, you don't know it is midpoint, you don't know it is center, you don't know it is quadrant. You're just making some drawing. So you can just click and select the nearest. See here, this is the nearest. Again another nearest may be here. And if you have a line, how many nearest it have?
Many.
Unlimited. You don't know. Wherever you click, that's the nearest point. Okay. One thing, and the last thing is that if I click, you can see the endpoint, midpoint, intersect, extension, geometric center. There are some of the snaps. I'm not going to cover it because we are not going to use it a lot. And out of this one, if you ask me, I need to be very perfect in endpoint, midpoint, center, perpendicular, and sometimes maybe intersection. But endpoint, midpoint, center, and the perpendicular are the most used one. Okay, right.